Hey, welcome back to my channel, Duct Tape Mechanic. In this video, I'm going to show you how to fix a stacked GE combination washer dryer unit that's making loud grinding noises. So if you find this video to be helpful, make sure you subscribe to my channel for more DIY and tinkering videos. Here is the GE washer dryer combination stacked unit in question. I believe these are also called laundry centers. But anyways, this video is going to be applicable to any sort of combination unit that is sold in the last 10 years or so. This is the model number for this particular one, but this is going to be a fairly universal video, whether you have the 24-inch one or the 27-inch one. Basically, this washing machine is making a loud grinding noise as it washes your clothes. So let's go ahead and solve this issue. Before I do the demonstration of the sound, I'm just going to go ahead and take the panel off so I can do a visual demonstration as well. But basically, to take the panel off, all you got to do is get a putty knife and go about 4 inches from the edge. So about right here or so, and just push. At the same time, you'll have to pull this panel. So pull out and do the same thing on this side right here. And out she goes. That's kind of the noise I was talking about. That right there. So to resolve this grinding noise issue, we'll be replacing these 3 parts. Now all 3 of these parts combined are going to be less than what it costs for a service person to come to your house and possibly tell you what's wrong with your washer dryer combo unit. Most of the time this problem is misdiagnosed as a bad transmission, and people end up getting rid of a perfectly fixable $1,400 combo unit. Basically what we have here is the clutch, this plastic piece right here, the actuator, so this is what actually moves the clutch in and out, and the clutch spring. I had one of these on hand, so I didn't have to order it. So to install this is not too difficult, but we are going to be working in a tight spot. But no, you'll be saving a lot of money by doing it yourself. Alright, before we get started, the first thing we need to do, aside from removing this cover, is to make sure the unit is unplugged. Alright, so as I mentioned, it is going to be a tight squeeze to get all those components, the shifter and the clutch in there. Just because this GE combo unit is kind of poorly designed. I've seen combo units, particularly the ones with the Whirlpool ones, where there's an access panel back here. So all you got to do is tip the washer on its back, and you get access to all the goods underneath here. There's got this panel, this plate underneath, and there's a million screws you have to take off before you can even imagine putting this thing on its back. But anyways, the very first thing we're going to be doing is we're taking off the drive belt. So it's right here, right here. So I'm going to position my camera so you can see what I'm doing. I'm also going to stick my flashlight in there so the lighting is better. Alright, so to get the belt off, you just got to take it off the transmission pulley first, then take it off the motor. There we go. Alright, so the next part we're going to be taking off is the transmission pulley, which is this black piece right here. There's a 16mm bolt that's holding it on. So to undo that, we just kind of got to get one hand on the pulley itself. As that doesn't help that I got my flashlight back there. You finally get that 16mm bolt off. You will have to kind of wiggle the transmission pulley until it kind of slides down. So it may take a little bit of work after that, but it will come out. Alright, so with the pulley removed, now we're going to be removing the spring-loaded clutch and the shifter. So this is the clutch right there, and this part right here is the shifter. Before we do that, we're just going to disconnect these 2 electrical connectors. All right, so to undo the shifter, there's just two 10mm bolts holding it in, one on each side. All right, so once you get that second 10mm bolt out, the shifter arm will come out, and so will the spring-loaded clutch. It'll just come out by itself. All right, let's get to installing the new one. All right, so before we install the new clutch right here, we will apply a little bit of silicone grease on the teeth and in the inside teeth as well. That'll just help reduce the wear and tear on the teeth, so it can last a longer time without breaking down, because this is a plastic clutch which is engaging a tub filled with clothes and water, so it is under a lot of stress. It's kind of hard to demonstrate while when we're installing this on the machine. The principle of it is relatively easy. We'll be sliding this onto the transmission shaft. Underneath that, we're going to be putting the clutch onto that, and then it's all going to be held by the shifter arm, so it's going to be under tension. So basically just kind of imagine it like so, and then here comes the arm. It's going to slide between the piece like that, so it'll be like that, and then we're just going to put the two bolts, the two 10mm bolts on that hold this whole assembly in place. So the only thing that's holding the clutch is these two arms of the shifter. So that's basically it. Let's get to it. Alright, so I was having a little bit of difficulty this time installing the shifter and the clutch. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to get this motor out of the way, and it's just held in by two bolts right there. So there's one on this side right there, and the other one is on the other side. As you can see, it's right here, right there. So with those two bolts out, the motor should kind of at least allow us to move it to the side and see if that makes it a little bit easier. Alright, so basically I just took off the two bolts. They're 13mm bolts that hold on the motor, and I just undid the motor connectors as well. There's one for the speed sensor and one for the motor control connector as well. So with that, we can just pull the motor right out of there, and now we have a lot more room to install that clutch and that transmission pulley as well. So it's probably a better idea to do that at the start, but I thought I could just install them, taking apart the least amount of things, but that's not the case. We're going to go ahead and install the spring over the transmission assembly right there, and then follow it up with the clutch and push it in like so. You'll notice that this teeth should face downward, and then after that we're going to install the shifter arm. So this is kind of a balance, a delicate balance. You got to slide the arm assembly in at the same time. You just kind of make sure it's in position to tighten up those 10mm bolts. It was a lot harder to do that with the transmission actually, with the motor I should say, actually in there. So we'll try it now and see if it's a little bit easier. Forget to put the connectors back on. We're going to be installing the transmission pulley. I also just kind of ran a bead of silicone grease on those teeth as well. So this time we're going to be installing the pulley with the teeth facing upwards. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and install the motor. I don't know if I showed it when I disassembled it or when I uninstalled it, but there was a bracket that came off as well. GE likes to make things a little bit more complicated than they need to be. but basically this bracket goes on to the back of the motor. So if we're looking at it from underneath, it should be something like this, where this will sit like that, and then the bolts will just go in like so. There we go. Let's go ahead and slap this thing on. So once you got the two bolts on there that hold the motor in place, go ahead and also connect the two connectors, the two connections for the motor as well. Install the belt is really easy. The first thing you need to do is loop it onto the grooves of the transmission pulley, which is easy, and then we're going to put an edge of it onto the motor pulley, and once we get a little bit of an edge on there, we're just going to turn the motor pulley in the counterclockwise direction, and that should just pop it in to the correct position, and it should spin like that. Easy peasy. So the only thing left is to go ahead and put this panel back on. To do that, we just got to make sure that the slots on the bottom of the panel go into the claws or the arms at the bottom of the washer. So just put that like so, and then you just push it into place. And that's it. That's how you fix a GE combo unit that's making loud grinding noise. So if you found this video to be helpful, make sure you hit the thumbs up sign. Alright, so I've got the combination unit now hooked up to my test station, and I've started a test load, and as you can probably hear, it sounds a lot better than that grinding noise that it was previously doing. But a quick disclaimer is that these machines are known to have weak transmissions, and that will also cause this issue. And basically a way to test for that is that when you pull off that old clutch, go ahead and grab that transmission shaft and see if it has play. So if you're able to move it up and down or side to side direction and it has a lot of wobble, don't even bother doing this repair, because that noise will not go away unless you replace the transmission altogether. But anyways, hopefully you found this to be helpful.